Hello, my name is Rab, and this is my new video about Warframe. Today I'm going to do a different thing because there we in Warframe we always have phases and people asking the A to buff the game because the game is too easy, blah 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 blah. Well, we have two options. We expect the A buff the game, which they won't because the game isn't directed only for veteran players or older players, are directed for all people that like Warframe and want to play. So I think it's more easy to us create each challenge at each one taste. It is more easy to do that. I've been asked sometimes why I play a lot with a lot of frames in different missions, and one thing that helped me a lot because the the challenge that are created in Reddit and other sites, there are challenges that are in Warframe a long time ago. That as I remember, previous update 7 even we had a few bosses, but there was always someone who create a boss run. But I always make my own boss runs. Why? Because I don't limit to build but to points. Because to build, if I limit to build, I put the build I always use because I always use the same build, and I can do the game, all the game and voids, and I don't have issues with it because that build works against almost all enemies. Much less against infested, but doesn't matter because it still does damage. So I never limit my challenge to build but to points. And to points, how? I'm going to give an example. The frame doesn't matter because I always go with a different frame, and the frame are free and melee are also free. Even now that we have damage, melee damage overall, but it's still free. It doesn't matter because at later point it's hard to take advantage from melee. So I don't put limitations in the part of the melee. In melee I can use the build I want, but there are rules in the first primary weapon. So I'm going with the first weapon I played. I wanted to take the Grakata, but I'm gonna take my primary weapon in Warframe, and it's still one of my favorites. It's the Burston. How can I achieve that? It's potatoid, but it doesn't matter and is formed. But how can I put the limit here? The limit is 30 points. Is the same points that a weapon and potatoid have. How? And it doesn't matter if you use polarized slots. For instance, I have 30 points to put. I cannot put maxed serration because it will remove me some space that I'll need. I can do this. I will put 8 points serration. It have 4 here, but it counts as 8 points. Now, if I want to use the event modes, I can still have elemental damage with only 14 points. But and I win a little stance, but I'm going to use only 3 mods. That is only elemental because it will give 30 points. 30 points, which is a maxed infected clip and the maxed Stormbringer. I have 22 more 8 from the Serration. I have 30 points, and this is my build. I cannot pass the I gotta pass the Stormbringer. Okay, it's here, and this is my build. This will be my build for the entire for bosses from Mercury to Pluto. The only thing I have normally will be my frame, and in this case I have Zephyr. I'm not going to change it. Secondary weapons also apply the same rule. You can choose the weapon you want, it doesn't matter. If it is formed or it isn't formed, it also doesn't matter. I'm going to choose I'm going to choose a weapon that isn't formed, so to be more easy to do, so I'll go with Despair. And now here I have the same thing. I can only put 30 points. 30 points. Well, I don't know if I have. Well, I do have a 8 point Hornet Strike, so another thing is you can't use multi-shots and you can't use heavy calibers, because you could with 30 points only. But even if you want to go with the max acceleration and multi-shot, you can't, because you can't. Well, you are free to do what you want, but for this to have any meaning, you can't go with multi-shots. Besides, they have lots of points. In this, I'm going to make a different tank, because I'm going to use the event mods that also give me stance. Well, I have 14 and 8, 22. I still have 8 points that I can use. And I don't know what I'm going to choose. Well, I'm with Despair. Let me see something. Puncture slash. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use I'm going to use a little fire rate. Okay, it's done. This will be my build to make. I'm not going to do all the bosses now, because it was a very extensive video, but it's only to give an idea how tanks can be a little different from what we expect. And this is very easy to do, because this is all things that we can do and don't depend on others for do it. Each one creates their own challenge, and well, yeah, there are even better ideas than mine, but the thing here is, well, I'm going to change this to solo, because it's easy to stop the game. Okay, so now, well, I'm going to claim this. I forgot. Sometimes I forgot to claim these things. Okay, so we are going to start with war. Let me just tell you that when we pass Jupiter, things become a little hard, because you don't have your whoop weapons and whoop builds, and you feel a lot of difference, especially against Alad and Zanuka, because even with builds, they sometimes are very annoying and present a real threat, but with this limit, and this gives you a pretty good idea what a new player suffers from until he his mods maxed and even got some mods, because I know this isn't. I mean, now we have tried, it's true, but this isn't real, because when I reached Vor the first time, I didn't even have Stormbringer, much less infected clip. I practically take out Vor. The first Vor was very easy, it's true, but I practically take out Vor only with I can't remember the name. It's the fire damage from the pistol. I can't remember the name now. It was the only elemental I had at the time when I reached Vor. The old Vor was too easy. It's true, because he was similar to some grenades that going to melee you. So it was very easy to kill or to avoid. Not to kill, but to avoid. It was very easy to avoid. But then it was a change in Vor, and Vor became a bigger threat for new players. And and one thing that that I find funny is the progression in scaling, because your build doesn't change, but you see the difference that you take to kill an enemy. Now we are at Mercury, but when we reach Serration, you will see the difference you take to take the same enemy down. And some bosses, I can tell you that some bosses will take at least a good 10, 15, if not more, to kill, because it's completely different. Well, I'm speaking and I'm a bit lost. Okay, I have to go here. I usually do this with different frames, because different frames, different situations, and it's very good to give us some awareness in some battles. I know this doesn't represent the truth, because if we only go to our inventory and change the weapon to a fully modded weapon, well, there's not much of issue presented, unless you go to a frame like the Yena pack that debuffs you and put you in a tough situation, because the way they limit you, which I find entertainment sometimes, not all the times, because I don't like always to be debuffed, to be that the game remove my control, the control of my frame. I call that artificial difficulty, but well, it's what we have, and there's no use to say that it should be this way or that.
Doors are locked. Time to break in.
Okay, now it's Vor. Not cut in half. I always like it Vor, because Vor is a very interesting character. Well, it's a little different than reach here and one shot var.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of
And
here.
and the funny thing is, I always try different combinations. This time I choose corrosive. Corrosive it's more easy because you can practically use corrosive against all enemies and still kill them, even with a few elemental. But when you change to blast damage now,
Feel free to proceed.
that is a little different because it can't work against some bosses, but against others you will take an eternity to kill them, but you still kill. But I don't like much to do. It's more like testing something, or because how should I say, go against a boss with the wrong damage. It's a little annoying. I don't consider that fun. The only thing he does is you take more time to kill him. Okay, war is
Target
done.
down. Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenno.
He also is the first boss, so okay. Now the second boss is Jackal. Ah, forgot to claim. It was very fun. A bit frustrated, but I saw the video in YouTube and wow, the guy. I I wouldn't remember to create such a challenge. Okay. I actually do this with we sometimes are in a party and say okay, now it's melee only, especially in Battlefield, but when we are only in a group of friends, we say okay, this is melee only, we cannot use weapons. But well, I would never remember to do this in Warframe. Okay, not going to lose time making this. Now we feel a little different against these guys, and this is the first issue that new players and now I think now DA with the change in the tutorial already give some very important mods to new players, so I think maybe that part is covered. I don't know because I couldn't see what I didn't create a new account only to see that, but I believe that when you start the game, so it is a big help because what is important in Warframe, and it always was this way, is the build you have in your weapons and not the weapon itself. Some people try to sell the idea that not all weapons are viable. Well, with the wrong builds or without mods, none of it is. So you can take a Bolter Prime against to do a Void Tower 3 or Tower 4 and tell me the result then. The thing is, mods are still the most important thing we have to make a weapon viable. Now we have weapons that do more damage than the others, and well, that is what people always choose. I'm only worried with OP weapons when I go to endless modes, that I know that I'm going to stay a lot of time, and I don't, and I try that my damage doesn't become flat too soon. But for instance, besides the time when I formed my weapon, I never go with a full modded Bolter Prime for Saturn, for instance. Well, unless of course I was thinking in staying a lot of time, but many times I level my weapons in Saturn, Cassini or Mimas, and sometimes I get parties that want to do 35 minutes, and with weapons sometimes half modded and or without mods. I never have the two weapons without mods. I always form one weapon and then form the secondary. Never form the two at the same time. But I usually only become to have issues after 25 minutes. Is where you have a lots of heavies, and with a weapon that isn't modded, you waste too many ammo to drop a heavy. So, but I usually say when I don't have the mods to stay more, I usually say that I can't go further.
The bypass is done. Go. Nicknamed the Jackal, this is the same deadly quad robot which has become extremely problematic for ourselves and Faye. Do not dismiss the Jackal as just another Corpus Proxy. This will be unlike any enemy you have faced
Okay,
yet.
I'm going to refill my ammo because, well, I forgot to change to my secondary. So
We've got robots inbound.
oh, okay, we have Jackal here. Now, this was my most annoying fight at start of Warframe. I remember that without Stormbringer it was a pain. I didn't. Oh my god! I thought the wave already passed it, so I moved forward. For a little. This is more close for the fight that I have the first time I reached it here, because it took so much time to take this guy out.
You know what to do.
With the difference that I didn't have Stormbringer. I only had the electric in my secondary weapon. I didn't have in my primary, so it was a little more annoying that now.
Override the security. Override complete. Move on.
Okay, I'm gonna speed up a little bit. I don't want to make a very extended video. I wanted to reach at least to Alad 5 and then divide in two parts and then make a second part until Ambulance. Second boss.
Let's get out of here.
Ordis has received messages for the operator. No, I have not read them.
Okay. Now we have, well, I'm not going to do this now. I'm going to do this after Alad. That is Van Heck. Van Heck is a fight that takes a little, so
Sergeant Nef Anyo oversees operations of the solar
This is maybe the most easy. I don't know why they didn't change him yet. I don't like to use the word easy. Don't like because I always try to see that if something may be easy for me but isn't easy for someone else, so I don't like to call things easy, and it may reach like an arrogance to others, so I don't like to use that word, but I think most of the community agree that Nerf Anyo already had at least give him a touch, because he doesn't present a threat. He wasn't presented a threat the first time I reached it there. When I start playing Warframe, I even didn't do the mission the day I reached there, because I was too tired and I thought, well, this guy must be more hard than Jackal, so I'm going to keep this for tomorrow. Today I'm very tired, so tomorrow I'm going to do the fight with Nerf Anyo. So and I got really surprised. At first I was a little confused because he disappeared, but when he appeared, he didn't take the same effort to take down like for instance Jackal that to kill Jackal the first time. Well, I don't remember the time I took to kill him, but it was many. I think it was the double that I did right before in this fight with Jackal. I think it was the double of the time. It was mostly because the lack of mods, because I wasn't doing almost any damage to him, and the problem was I wasted many ammo in this lag, and when I go to him, I almost have wasted all my ammo. So it was a little annoying, the fight, but we had different refillers at that time, because you had some ammo packs in your inventory that instantly refill your ammo full, so in that regard it was more practical for this kind of fights. But it took a little time to take Jackal down. But when I reached Nerf Anyo, I became very surprised, because I thought he was more difficult than Jackal, but no, he was in fact an easy target to take down. He only surprised me the first time, but didn't kill me, but surprised me because of the invisibility he used. Now we have the mark in him, so even that he is invisible, you always know where he is. But besides that, I think but there was a different thing. When I reached Nerf Anyo, I already have Stormbringer, so it was, I don't know if that fact for itself made the fight more easy with Nerf Anyo than Jackal, but or make such a huge difference. But when I fight Jackal, I didn't have Stormbringer, so to drop his shields, it was very hard. And when I reached Nerf Anyo, I already have Stormbringer, so as you see, you always know where he is. It's a little different because I can go after him and kill him when he appears. But it's a little different because he doesn't die with one shot. I think this is a good way to spice things a little bit. I do this personally lots of times. I only play survival, like I said most of the time. I only play survival and defense, some alerts. I only do some invasions to get the mark from both sides and have hunters appear in middle of my missions, but
We've got robots inbound.
I sometimes do this to spice things a little bit, and I always choose a weapon that doesn't have high stats to help a little bit.
Target down. Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenno.
Okay. Now a problem. Because now things start to be well, we can pass the first ones, but because I always get used to do this road, I always start in Mercury, but we can start here. Now things become a little more hard because well, I'm going to claim it now. I forgot to claim it before. Well, it's bugged. Sometimes it bugs out and I can't claim it. Okay, let me claim this one that I forgot before. Okay. Now things become a little more challenging because where is it? Now things become a little more hard because Zanuka is hard. Is hard with this, with the average. This is even average damage. It's a little lower than average, but Zanuki is hard. It's a little hard. No, not to kill them, but not to be killed in the process. Because you don't do much damage, and one thing that that makes the fight interesting, because you actually have to move to not be killed in the process.
Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you.
And also Zephyr doesn't help much against them because, well, I miss some CC ability that it was fighting them, and well, that I don't have. But well, let's see what can we pull out of this. After this point is different frames, different strategies, of course.
Bypass complete. You may proceed.
You see the difference? When we do this now, even fighting the normal enemies, it gives us a better idea of the scaling between planets. Because when you are using a powerful weapon, you don't feel that difference, because you are using a weapon that is built to play in later levels, and you are playing in lower levels, so you don't feel much of a difference between the gap in enemy scaling. But when you are using a lower build, you can see clearly between planets. I changed it from Mars to Jupiter, and then Jupiter to Saturn, and you see when you shoot an enemy, it becomes harder and harder to kill. It's like I said, I like to spice things a little bit, and I like to play endless mods, mostly because it's the only place when you can push a little bit your limits, because I always like to see the time that unless I'm farming. If I'm farming, it's different. I'll stay 15 minutes and end the game and go do another 15 minutes, because the 35 doesn't compensate. It is more easy to do 15 minutes, extract, and then another 15 minutes, extract, and repeat the process. But if I'm making an endless game, of course I'll try to stay until I can't stand anymore. That's why most of the time, not also because of that, but that is the principal reason that always my frames only have 2 lives, 3 lives, 1 life.
Doors are locked. Time to break in.
It's a better use of having all the frames. We can catch a frame and do something, even that things don't go as we expect. That's no worries, because I'm not going to waste plat on revives, so I have another frames, and it's good that you don't win every time. At least give you a sense of, how should I say, I don't want to call challenge, but it's different. I can't explain, but it's a little different. Then we go to missions where we destroy the enemy, and well, it may work the first times, but after some games you will become bored eventually, because there's no threat. You don't feel threatened. So if you don't feel threatened, you are there only killing, and wow, okay. I'm going to do something because I'm going to need it. Okay, let's start.
And now, let me show you the future. Sanuka! Kill! to evolve or die. Which will it be, Tenno?
Target spotted. Stay sharp. This one is a handful.
I have to do this one more time. I can't believe it.
You are obsolete. Make way for the next generation. You will never.
Nice work taking down the VIP. Now get to extraction.
Okay, it's done. It's the only way. It's the only way. I was thinking another thing. It's the best. It's the best way you have to deal with it, because if you go against Zanuka with so low damage, it will consume a lot of ammo, and you have to dodge him lots of times. So the best way is to drop Allah the first time with your weapon, and then go melee him, and then use the moment Zanuka are reviving Allah to drop him. Well, I'm going to finish this mission and this video. I'll make the second part. I'll start in Van Heck and until Hamburg. I still have to see the planets. I wanted to divide the two videos almost the same way. Ah, it's locking. Well, where is the... Ah, it's here. Well, I'm going to use...
Breach complete. We're free to proceed.
Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit.
The bypass is done.
Because tanks are divided this way. I'm not sure if I have to do Kala, because I passed Van Heck. I'll keep Van Heck to do as a first boss in the second video. Until Hamburgers.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
Oh, two neural sensors, good. let me see the star shot. Okay, we have this. I passed this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I have to do this also because I passed it. I passed the hurt, so I'm going to do this one also. Sarga's rug.
Assassination target is nearby. Seek and destroy. General Sargus Bruck has become a problem for our artifact recovery efforts. Several of our dig sites in this sector have been attacked and annexed by Ruck and his fleet. Take Ruck out.
I can't believe it. Didn't suck.
You've been seen. Ready your weapon.
I see something curious is I see lots of people when I'm playing online. I see lots of people pass these doors without destroying the lead, the little lead, because well, it removes all our energy. So I see them pass the door one time and then the next door again, so I can't understand why, because well, when I passed the door the first time, I already saw that it removed my energy, so I had to destroy the lead. Now I couldn't because I didn't destroy the lead and I got grappled, so I was pushed to the door and lost all my energy. But
I'm detecting a large security force heading your way. It's the Grenier.
it's for here. Funny thing is, I never fought Sargus Rook, this new Sargus Rook, so it's kind of the first time to me. Well, I'm seeing that I only can do damage in this. Well, this will be an annoying fight.
You've been locked out. Let's override the security.
Let me. I still didn't understand where I have. I think it's in the blue tank. Well, well, he's a little annoying. Well, because I have a lots of Hurricane cells, I never come here, so I never really fight him. I think I was here once in a party, but well, the guy who reached here dropped him so quick that I never really reached to fight him. So I'm kind of surprised. Where is the point where we actually do damage to them? I know that I'm doing damage because I'm seeing his health, but it's I didn't get really where is the point where now I'm seeing, but it's too. Wow, these ultimates are just wow. I need my energy. My ammo. melee doesn't do anything to him. Okay. Okay, sorry. Next time. Well, it is a little pain to fight
They
if
won't be bothering us anymore.
if we aren't geared for it because well, I do understand that it is to take a little more time to fight, but I still didn't get it. Well, this is the first time, so I still didn't get it his phases, because the first time I only did damage in the blue spot, but this last time, this last phase of him, I didn't quite understand. I think it was only when in his back, because well, it was the only time I saw points when I was shooting him, so I think it was the only time I did damage.
You are surrounded by Premier Marines.
Okay, this will be the last boss. I will make the others in the other video for not making a too extensive video, but I'll keep the same build, the same frame, the same weapons. Like I said, things from now on will become a little more hard because well, okay, it's done.
Target down.
Thanks for
Assassination
watching.
contract
Until the
complete.
next
Great
video,
work,
see
Anyo.
you around.